I'm here with Tracy Gonzalez, and we are making a beautiful feather bracelet today. Tracy, I always love your designs.
Thank you.
You are so multi-talented, you can do anything.
Yeah, a little bit of a lot of techniques.
I hear that. Well, this piece is beautiful because it's simple, you know, it's easy to create.
It is. It's easy for beginners. There's some tools that we use, but they're really easy to use.
Yeah, and this feather component is so eye-catching. I love it. I made this necklace with the big feather.
Wonderful.
And I wear it all the time.
Both of the feathers are really great, and what's wonderful is that they're pewter, which is a soft alloy. So we're going to be using some bracelet bending pliers, and we're going to be using some metal hole punching tools to alter this component so that we can turn it into this bracelet.
Okay, so we can choose which finish we like, and then let's get started.
Okay, well, we'll choose this little silver one, silver-plated one. These components are lead-free pewter, and then the silver ones in particular are plated with fine silver. So because it's pewter, it's fairly soft and easy to alter with the metal hole punching pliers. So I'm going to punch a little hole just about 1/8 of an inch from the end. And there are different metal hole punching tools. I like the plier style. They work.
I do too, but there's also the kind that kind of screws down.
Right,
so
right.
It's your choice there.
Right. And they come in a wide variety of sizes. So whatever your stringing material is, you'll find a tool.
Oh, that's a great point. The hole size.
Right. So now I've got a little hole there, but I want to just file it a teeny bit. And I can use, if I was at my workbench, I would use a metal file, but I've got a emery board, and that's okay. I just want to take off that little bit of rough edge. So now I've got my hole, and I'm going to take some bracelet bending pliers, which is a really cool tool. They're fun to use. And I'm just going to gently curve this.
Okay.
And I do want to be gentle with it. I don't want to just go squishing it really hard. I want to be gentle with it. And the idea here is to give it a nice curve so that it will lay nicely against the wrist when we make our bracelet.
Well, and that's a nice thing about using pewter components,
right?
Because they're malleable enough that you can bend them like that. Absolutely. And give them a little flair.
Absolutely.
Nice. What's next?
So then I've got my focal component ready. I'm going to string on a crimp bead onto a piece of beading wire, and I'm using a medium beading wire.
Okay.
And I'm going to thread that beading wire through the hole at the end of the pendant.
So your attachment point is the crimp.
Correct. And I want to create a loop long enough where it's not going to tangle up on the end of that pendant. So about 1/4 of an inch maybe.
All right.
And then I'm going to use some crimping pliers to secure that.
Okay. I love the Southwest look of this. It's really fun.
Yeah, and the components are available in different finishes. So copper's great for Southwest, gold. This one, the silver, the original version we did with turquoise, of course, turquoise and silver for Southwest. We're going to use some little check glass rondelles for this one.
Nice.
So I've got my crimp bead secure, and I'm just going to trim off that little extra bit of wire. And now I can string on my beads.
Okay.
So I've got some little metal spacers here. And
I love to use metal spacers with check glass and stone beads because I feel like it really punctuates whatever you do.
It does. You can go, and you wouldn't necessarily have to do, one bead, one spacer, one bead, one spacer. You can make patterns. It really adds some life to a design.
Yeah, so we can see it's coming together, and you don't need a needle or anything.
No, these, you can also do this sort of design with gemstones, but you have to be sure that your gemstone has the hole size can vary. So check glass is really consistent. So I would just continue stringing all those beads until I had the length I want. So I've got one set up here.
Okay.
And it already has the second crimp bead on there.
All right.
And now at this end, I'm just going to create about a 1/8 inch hole, loop rather.
Oh, you don't have to attach your clasp right now?
I'm going to attach a jump ring to it, but I'll attach it after. So I'm just going to thread the end back through the crimp, make my loop. I want to make sure that I've taken up all the slack in my beads, but I don't want it too tight. I want to make sure that my beads are loose enough to
Yeah, I think this is a great beginner project, but that is a really important point for somebody who's never made a bracelet before. It seems like everybody's first bracelet is always really stiff, and then it's prone to breakage.
You need to learn to build that slack in.
Right.
And then I'll just, whoops, thought I picked up the wrong tool for a second. Secure that again with the crimping pliers.
Okay. Nice.
And trim off the extra. And now I'm going to finish it with a lobster clasp. So the first thing I'll do is attach one of these small oval jump rings.
You always want to turn the jump ring open to the side. I know, people who have made jewelry a long time know that, but that's a good
you never want to
tip.
open up a jump ring, open up the oval or the circle, oval in this case. You always want to do that side-to-side twist. So I'm going to use a small jump ring and attach the small loop of this lobster clasp.
Okay.
And then use a second little oval jump ring.
On your feather?
Yes, and I'm going to attach this larger round jump ring. You could use whatever type of jump rings you want. And and that's it. It's pretty quick. Now, we did some variations of this too. You could add some embellishment.
I love the Thunderbird. Yeah. Those are fun and very Southwesty.
Right. You could use a jump ring to attach this. And we did a couple of variations over there. And I attached them to this, because I didn't want to interfere with all the closure components. I attached the embellishments to this loop at the end of the feather.
Of the feather.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a great point. Let's take a look at those. For example, this one with the copper feather. I almost said leaf. Leaves and feathers they've got that same flair. And then with the Thunderbird here, and that's attached at the base.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a great idea. You don't want those pieces interfering when you're trying to fasten.
Right.
And this is a really fun piece. I love this with the large feather.
Yeah, the large feather is the first one I tried this technique with, and it's big for a bracelet, but it's just so gorgeous. And I strung that one on leather and created a sliding closure. So
that's a good idea, and you have a little charm there at the end too.
Yeah.
I love the little details that you always add.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And then these. Just some different colorways here, and those check glass as well.
These ones, and I regret I don't know the name of that particular stone, but that one's a gemstone, and then the rest of them are all check glass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you could use these colors to inspire you for your day.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, Tracy. It was great having you here.